Hello, this is Gwen. Today is Friday, September 29th, 2017, and it's about 12:54 p.m. Now, what I'm going to talk about today is going to be about karma and social media. I kind of harp on karma and divine moral code and don't do people wrong and always pay attention to how you do things and all of that, and I say that for me and everybody else. Well, this is going to be a short recording. What was going on a few weeks ago and months ago is that Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and various forms of social media had been kicking off black folks for various reasons, leaving the white people there and the people who were really doing hate speech and all, but yet finding ways and reasons to demonetize, harass, troll, and all of that. And it was a double standard, and you could tell right off. Other black YouTubers and social media personalities and entities were pointing out various things like that. Like they would say, I got my page banned from so and so. I got kicked off of this. And they're telling their friends to let other people know where they really are and where you can find them again and where their web page is and how you have to navigate to find them to so you can hear their content because their content was no longer on their original page because their original page was kicked off or banned or discontinued or all of that, right? Yet people who were doing even more stuff that they were flagged about were still where they were and still able to do this double-sided attack, and harassment. Plus they had and that was the overall people. Then the regular people were doing trolling and flagging and harassing black YouTubers and Instagram and Facebook and Twitters on social media. And all of this was going on, right? Well, connect the dots here. These black YouTubers and social media personalities were calling out the double standards and the political leanings in so many words. They weren't saying it straight out in political leanings. I'm saying it straight out in political leanings. That these social media entities, the ones that control it, were that they had, right? So fast forward to right now. Facebook is under investigation. They're also going to ask Twitter and YouTube and thus Google and such. And I think they already looked at Twitter. They already looked at Facebook. They're on Twitter. They're gonna go to YouTube and probably Instagram, seeing the connections because they were, or it seemed like they leaning, were taking a political side in free speech. Free speech not so free when you don't have the same opinion that they do. So they looked like they were taking sides on this left wing, right wing social agendas. That is, if we're saying things that you like, it's okay, but if it's not stuff we like, we're going to play with your analytics, demonetize you, get rid of your sponsors, or make your sponsors um, mess with the sponsorship, do things to make it look like you weren't getting views because they do mess with the analytics, the data, and so they were doing things, and it was a political agenda. This is coming out right now, and nobody knew the extent of it. They just suspected, knew something was wrong, pointing it out, sounding the alarms, Nobody was listening. So, this is why I talk about karma. Like recently, somebody was had their pages flagged and torn down, and then they had to appeal, and it came right back up. But nevertheless, they were still harassed, and they still had to go through that. Several of them had to go through that appeal process because their pages were harassed and falsely flagged to the point that it was removed. And then when they looked again, or whoever behind the scenes looked again, they got the appeals. The appeal was successful, but meanwhile, the people who did all of the harassing, and as you can, you can look on their website and show how they went about it. Who did that attack wound up getting their page removed, which was justified because they were doing an attack with false flagging and false all of that stuff. And so, with this is karma. Karma. You're reaping what you sow. Your stuff is coming out. These aren't the days of people for people to be playing with karma or playing with justice. You need to do right as much as you can these days, because this is no time to be playing around doing folks wrong. I'm just saying, that's my point here. These aren't the days to be doing folks wrong. Do right by everybody as best you can. If you got a conscience and it's something saying, even though it's legal, and I might be in the right position legally, but yet I feel in my heart I'm wrong, try to make it right, baby. Try to make it right, because these social media giants now have got to answer for what they did with Russia. They let Russia come into our country and undermine our democracy and our free speech and our political everything. Trying to play games with people's opinions and trying to tilt the deck. They they played themselves, trying to play games, harassing black folks and people who lean with left wing political ideology, that is, social concerned political ideology, rather than right wing, which is, I don't know what the hell they doing now, but you know what I mean. The ones that are ones who look for social justice and social concerns. That's more left wing. That's what we look at, civil concerns. And the people who do the opposite were really you know, getting a lot of things tilted in their favor, unjustly, it seems. Okay, that's all. That's all I got to say. Is just pay attention to karma, and none of us um, are immune to it. And so make sure you do right, just like I'm gonna try to make sure I do right, and all of us get on board with that. And I'm gonna also say that the black people called it in social media early on. They were calling it for the past 2, 3 years, really. They were calling it. They were calling it. Nobody listened. Okay, that's it. That's all I got to say. Bye bye.